So let's just break every single rule of ceramics. Let's get the big one out of the way. I'm making a fully enclosed object, which you're supposedly not supposed to do, something about exploding and moisture content and air bubbles and blah, blah, blah. But I'm basically making a giant air bubble. Next, we're breaking the rules of composites. And a composite piece is basically when you take two ceramic pieces and you put them together. And usually, when you do this, you want to throw the first one way earlier than the second one so that it has some time to firm up. And then you either like throw it through or, use extra clay. I literally just scored and slipped it and threw them relatively close together at the same time. And I just put the one I threw first at the bottom. And I did poke a hole. I'm making an enclosed object, but I did poke a hole. So, Now here I actually break two rules in one nice little fell swoop. The first one is that my hair is down, which is not super smart. I know that it's not smart, but I did it anyway because lazy. The second rule that I broke is the rule of being a YouTuber, which is that there's this giant thing in the way. Now, I'm sure you're curious of what I actually just did, and I threw it's called a chuck, and it's basically something for me to put my circular object in. I can obviously trim this piece, when it has a flat bottom, but once I've turned it into a sphere, how am I going to trim that? Now, lucky for me, I do at some point at least rectify one of my mistakes, and I do fix the thing in the way. Now we have to talk about a mistake that past me made before I trimmed this. Anybody who's done ceramics, I'm sure you can see just how dry those trimmings are. This is not a nice, satisfying trimming session. This is me trimming a very, very dry piece and taking a wet sponge and going in between every single layer to make sure that it is wet enough for me to trim. So if you do ever let a piece get too dry, you can do this. I don't recommend it. It's not fun, but you can. Now, as you can see, it's time to bring out our old friend Chuck. We just made him not too long ago. And it's time to put the circle bit inside Chuck. I did try to use a little bit of clay to hold it down. It ended up being honestly so useless. I don't usually know what to say over this part of videos because we can just rag on myself all day long. This is so many mistakes. But the irony is that despite all of the mistakes, this actually turned out pretty freaking good. It's just unsatisfying trimming and a lot of sponge work. And can we just cut to the no, okay. No, I have to show off how many times I have to reposition it. This is so painful. Anyway, how are you? How's your day been? Um, I'm just here leveling my piece, my circle, my weird circular object that breaks 8,003,742 rules. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, as you can see, it does eventually become circle. Circle, circle, dot, dot. Now you got your cootie shot. Nobody ever makes it this far into like this long of a video, except for that one video that went a little bit viral. But I'm not saying anything like political or contentious. Should I say something political and contentious? Will that increase my retention rate? Probably not. I'd have to say that at the beginning of the video. So much trimming, so much circle, so much fun.